just for clarification, there was an item on Busi water. Do you have it, or you could table it as well if you have it?
No, I didn't have it, Mr. Chair. That's why I not table it.
Because I see it on the agenda. So I don't know what happened, clerk. The agenda item. Did you communicate to the Kisii County?
I think, Chair, the anomaly was from our side that we have not indicated that one in the letter.
So then that has to be removed from the agenda. So we will have to amend the agenda to remove agenda number 5. So can we
I propose.
second chair? Okay. So now we have 3 issues that we are going to look at. The first one is FIF for 2 years. And the second one is Kisii Referral Hospital for 4 years. And finally, the municipality for 3 years. So those are the items we are going to consider today. So I think we will start with the municipality, Kisii municipality. Kisii municipality, which honorable members is this, the response is contained here, and it's for the 3 financial years. So I think I take it to the auditor to take us through the report for the year ended June 2020. You give us a brief about the report, and then proceed to indicate the status of each query in that report. After that, you proceed to the next report, which is for the year ended June 2021, and finally for the year ended June 2022. Auditor?
Thank you, Chair. The audit report for the financial statement for urban support program, which is Kisii municipality for the year ended 30th June 2020.
And the very auditor, just proceed.
So issue number 1 is about budgetary control and performance. The statement of the compartment of budget and actual account for the year ended 30th June 2020. Which budget of Kenya shilling was 1,200,000 and an actual expenditure of Kenya shilling 93,904,207, resulting to an overall of expenditure of Kenya shilling 1 million.
Auditor, what I want you to do for now is just tell us the status of the query first, whether the query has been addressed or not. And then overall, I will guide the committee on how we are going to proceed. So, because what you are doing is you are reading the query. So just state the status first. Addressed, partially addressed, or not addressed.
Thank you, Chair, for that guidance. Issue on the budgetary control and performance, the issue was addressed for that year, and we only had that one issue.
And where is addressed, just state briefly to the members what has been addressed or how it has been addressed. Maybe before you continue, can I ask Kisii to put himself on record?
Thank you, Chair. Through you, Excellency Governor.
Proceed, Auditor.
Thank you, Chair. The issue was addressed because the financial statement earlier on, in terms of the budget, reflected a budget of 41,200,000, and that when we do the review, there was an error on that financial statement in terms of the budget comparison. But the county were able to provide a supporting documents on the approved budget, totaling to 285,805,956.
So how has the error been corrected? Has it been corrected in the financial statement for the preceding years, or how has it been corrected?
Chair, here we are just saying the issue has been addressed because the financial statements already had an error, and you cannot go back in terms of correcting those financial year, which has already been audited. But in terms of the supporting documents, where they earlier indicated the budget of 41,200,000, they were able to provide the approved budget, for which reflect now 285,805,956.
Okay, if a member has an issue, any member with an issue on that, Senator Onyonka.
Thank you. This goes to the AOG. What caused that problem? Was it because during the audit review, you maybe I should ask a different, was there an entry meeting, an exit meeting? Because that could only come out because either there was no meeting or there was no implementation. But then when you then said this is going to be advanced, they then reacted and provided the documents. Am I right? Is that the reason why we are having that problem?
Through the chair, it's true. This is when the financial statement was prepared. There was that error that has already been done. We did entry meeting, of course, we did exit meeting. But now, during the verification of provisional information, the county executive were able to provide now the actual correction, and were able to submit the error in that budget.
Okay, honorable members, I think that is satisfactory. Let's proceed to the next query, Auditor.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. On the financial year that ended that is June 2021, again, the issue of the budgetary control and performance, this one not addressed. It was also one item in that year about the budget. For the financial year that is June 2022, which had a qualified issue number one was failure to depreciate property, plant, and equipment, and not addressed. And then issue number two is about budgetary control and the performance.
Yeah, he's already on 2022.
'21 only had one item about budgetary control, and the issue was not addressed.
20, proceed.
Point, excuse me, Chair.
Yes.
He's saying 22, the issue was budgetary control and it was not addressed.
Yeah.
So what is your recommendation? Oh, okay. Sorry. My apologies, because I came late. My apologies.
We'll discuss, but the same query appears in 2022. So members agree on which one to handle, either the 2021 or
Yeah, for 2022, the issue of budgetary control and performance, not the issue of failure to maintain a retention account, that was partially addressed. Thank you, Chair. We raised audit query in regard to 7.3 million. The county were able to support an amount around 5.7 million.
so. I think, honorable members, we can look at this. Proceed.
For that particular period,
Okay, so honorable members, in the first year, June 2020, opinion in this financial statement. Year ended June 2020.
Yeah, it was a unqualified.
Unqualified, okay.
Yes, it's unqualified.
Explained by the auditor has been addressed. Only those are MCS from. I will ask you to introduce yourself because you came in late. So the first year, the year ended June 2020, the report was unqualified and the only query has been explained satisfactorily. That is budget. Was unqualified and we had only one query, budget control and performance. But the auditor states that the same query appears in the year ended June 2022. So, honorable members, the one appearing in the year ended June 2022. So for that matter, therefore, the report for the year ended June 2020 and the year ended June 2022, we will consolidate the issues in 2022. So for 2022, we have failure to depreciate property, plant, and equipment. Yes.
Save time, because you had also told us you wanted to, all the queries for 2022, we'll deal with them. So you don't have to go through them because they are all.
Yeah, all the queries will deal
So
with
we
them.
just start with the first one.
So all the queries, there are 4 queries. We are going to look at them. Auditor, I will request that you take us through the first query for. Okay, the MCS from Makweni, you can now introduce yourself. Sergeant at arm, please provide the mic.
Thank you. Through the chair, I'm Brian Zoka, the chairperson, County Public Investment Committee, Makueni County Assembly. Thank you.
Excellent.
Chair, I'm Jonathan Mwoki Mwaniki, Vice Chair, the Committee on PIC, Makueni County Assembly.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Engineer Jackson Dolo Kemunye, the Deputy Minority Leader, Makueni County Assembly, and a member of Public Investment Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Engineer Kisungi Wakatete. I'm a member of this committee and also the Majority Leader, Makueni County Assembly, under the Wiper Party.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm Jed Skalunda, member of this committee and also the leader of minority, that is the party Muungano. Thank you very much.
Just for correction, you don't say this committee because this committee means this one that is sitting.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
That is corrected in the answer.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is.
Simama watu wakuone.
Good morning, everyone. My name is MC Janet Kitunga. I am a member of Investments Committee. Thank you for this opportunity.
Good morning, everyone. Through the chair, Clint Kamula, I'm a member of Public Investment Committee of Makueni County Assembly. Thank you.
Welcome, Honorable MCS, to this session. Used to asking questions, but in this session, you will only be observers. You cannot ask anything. You just observe how things are happening. But welcome to learn more about how we conduct our sessions. So, honorable members, we will now go to the first query for the report for the period ended 30th June 2022 for Kisii municipality. And the query is failure to depreciate property, plant, and equipment. Auditor. Page 98 of the response document. Proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Failure to depreciate property, plant, and equipment. The statement of the financial position reflects property, plant, and equipment balance of KJ 306,443,005 as disclosed in Note 9 to the financial statement. The balance represents the historical cost, building and other machinery equipment, furniture and fittings, computers, industrial assets, capital work in progress. However, the management did not provide a depreciation on this non-current asset as required by International Public Sector Accounting Standard, IPSA 17, of the property, plant, and equipment. This was also contrary to paragraph C of the significant accounting policies, which state that all property, plant, and equipment are stated at cost less the accumulated depreciation and impairment. So in the circumstances, the accuracy and the property of the plant and equipment balance of Kenya 306,443,905 as 30th June 2022 could not be confirmed.
Governor, the management response.
Properties, plants, and equipment. Depreciation was not done because Kisii County government does not have a policy on depreciation. The management has noted this and is committed to develop a policy guideline for the county.
Before I come to you, members, I would like to hear the comments on the response by the auditor.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. The management has the failure to depreciate property, plant, and equipment. Depreciation was not done because Kisii County got depreciation, so the issue not addressed.
So, Governor, maybe you can tell us how far have you gone with the formulation of this policy? I'll come to you.
The reason I was going to say, I hope you've not ruled. Under the circumstances which he has not been solved, what would his recommendation be before Governor responds?
Yeah, very well. Auditor, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. As stated in terms of the IPSA's accounting, any property, plant, and equipment must be reflected net cost of the depreciations. So in circumstances where the depreciation has not been provided, then it means the financial statement has been overstated. So the county requires to put their depreciation policies in place so that going forward, the financial statement reflects fair view of the states.
Governor, please.
Chair, thank you. The circumstance that we don't have the policy, and I want to affirm to the committee that we have started looking into many other policies, not only this one, which is not in place. Found that they were not there, but we are in the progress of coming up with those many other policies, including this one.
So how long would you take to finalize on the process? Because as the auditor stated that without depreciation, it means your financial statement are overstated.
Chair, again, I'm sure there is the new communication from Treasury on the common policy that is being used. Is that the one that we are using at the moment? But again, as I have indicated, it's clear that we are in the process. God willing, by the end of the year, we'll have gotten the policy in place.
Okay, let me start with Senator Kisang, and then I come to Senator Nyonka.
Chairman, it's just a comment. I'm very surprised that the retired governor of Kisii, who was the director of personnel management for a long time, could have overlooked all these policies for this time. I mean, he should have been, he was, I think he's an HR expert because he was the director for personnel management for long. It's a serious oversight that policies are not in place. Maybe also ICT policy is not there. Maybe risk management policy is not there. So the governors, the first governors under the devolution slept on the job. So please, we know how we did in the last parliament. I hope you are not going to take another 5 years because your audited accounts are coming up, 2023, 24 years. So I hope by the time we are discussing, you will not have, you are not going to wait for treasury for eternity. You need to develop yours.
Yeah, and maybe before you come in, Senator Nyonka, the auditor, the first 2 years, you had unqualified opinion. I'm just wondering why you later on discovered that you have no depreciation of your asset. What was anomaly there? Because unqualified means the report is good, but then later, a year later, you discover that the depreciation is not done well. So what could have happened?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Probably the previous years, some of these municipalities, that's where they are starting. As we progress, that's where also they are enhancing their financial statement preparations. In the earlier, we are really focusing on the budget. Even the systems were not in place, but as they come up, now we wanted to see how they also prepare their financial statement. And this particular year now, 2022, is when now you can see even in terms of the assets being overstated because of now the issue of depreciation has always been done. And these municipalities.
Okay, Senator Nyonka.
Thank you, Chair. My point is, that I think I wanted to raise two issues, Your Excellency. One is that I think the Chair has already pronounced himself and said he hopes that within the next maybe 6 months, or I don't know what the committee's recommendation are going to be, so that these policies could be actually implemented, because these are the policies that are making the functionality of the county governments to look dysfunctional. And sometimes it is deliberate because of the challenges that the county government is facing. So I hope, for me as a county senator of Kisii, I hope that the executive in Kisii will be able then to deliberately even assign individuals in your administration to make sure that these policies are passed, because that is what then gives you a proper and clear audit report when they are doing it. Thank you.
Maybe before I end that part, I would like to find out from the governor. Having a policy is one thing, but from the experience we have seen with other municipalities, they don't even have an asset register. So even if they were to do depreciation, they will not do it very well because there is no asset register. So kindly tell us, do you have an asset register for this municipality?
Chair, I believe that I'm not very sure, because again, I want to be very sincere here, is that when we lack policy, you expect that again that register couldn't be there. We're not very sure which machineries, what assets are there. But as it were, I'm sure we do have to some extent the register of a number of those assets that are there.
Yeah, because when we give direction, we will not just be asking about the policy, but also confirmation that there is a register in place. Auditor, can you confirm? Do we have a register, asset register for Kisii municipality?
Chair, may not able to confirm whether they have fixed asset registers, because as you said, when you have the financial reflected, you ought maybe to know that they are existing of the assets. So, but some of these government entities have also challenged in terms of preparation of those fixed asset registers.
Senator Nyonka.
Chair, I just remembered that in my observation, what I've realized is that every time the Auditor General makes recommendations, and including because of the fact that we sit in other committees, you notice that every time something is repeated, you notice nothing is done about it. And I would really like to make a recommendation to the chair and the OAG and the team that is here, and I believe Treasury should be here. What is it that we can do to make sure that what is obvious that needs to be done by the county governments? And this has really nothing to do with Governor Simba, because this is how he found the system is. How do we create deterrence? How do we stop county governments repeating the same things over and over because they notice there's a gap which can be manipulated one way or the other? I was thinking that the OAG and the Treasury must come up with an ingenious way on how we say, if you don't do this, the consequences of this are that. And I don't know what your view is on that, Chair. Thank you.
Okay,
Chair, I think it's also important to note and also to inform members that, the last two Senate, the second and the third Senate, didn't have this committee. So if this committee was in place and made recommendations, I believe these issues would not be there. So maybe it's upon us now as this committee chair that the recommendations that we make to the counties, we follow up as the implementing agency. We check on the implementation of the recommendations so that the things are not repeated. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we are looking at this municipality for the very, very first time. After this, we are going to look at Kisii Referral Hospital for the very, very first time. So some of these gaps, we will be addressing them through our interim recommendations to the governor and the team to go and deal with. Governor, you look like you want to say something on that.
Chair, I want to agree with the committee, because it's important for us to have even that register, the asset register. If we don't have it, you definitely have that anybody at his second term, they would want even to sell the assets to also there. Therefore, it's important. We are working towards it, making sure that all the assets of the municipality, and again, even for the county, they are captured somewhere.
Yeah. So I think, Onyonka?
And those records should be with the Transitional Authority, Your Excellency. They have the audit, they have the report and the records of everything that was handed over from the county councils and the municipal councils to your office. So if you assign somebody that responsibility, he should or she should be able to tell you, this is what we had, and then, so it will be easy for us to have that.
So, Senator Karungo Dango, please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Chair, Governor, and your team. My name is Karungo Wadangwa. I'm the Senator of the Great County of Kiambu and a member of this committee. And I'm happy to see Senator Onyonka. I can see he's calm. Yeah.
These are two major executors of
my chair transport is my very, very good friend. Is somebody I highly respect. Yeah. But the matter we are dealing with is literally life and death. The matter we are dealing with Kisii County is very easy, very comfortable. The governor is my friend. You can see the issues. I don't even know who Adani is, but I know who the governor is. Thank you.
These are the two main judges in the Adani case, seated next to each other. So I think, Governor, we will give an interim recommendation on this, to require that all these processes be completed within 6 months from today. The issue of identification of the asset and development of the asset register, and also the finalization of the depreciation policy. Because without the depreciation policy, you can't even have the asset register itself. So that we can now have accounts which are not overstated. So I think we'll do that in our interim recommendation. So honorable members, let's proceed to the next query, which is budget control and performance. Auditor.
Thank you, Chair. Budgetary control and performance. The statement of the comparison of the budget and actual amount reflect a revenue budget, an actual on comparable basis amounting to Kenya shilling 760,808 and Kenya shilling nil, respectively 760,808, which are around 900% of the budget. Similarly, the statement reflects a development and recurrent expenditure budget, an actual on comparable basis amounting to Kenya shilling 163,292,993 and Kenya shilling 81,604,608, resulting into under expenditure of Kenya shilling 81,688,334, which is around 50% of the budget. The budget of underfunding and under expenditure affected plan activities, of course affected the plan activities, and may have an impact on negatively on delivery of the service to the resident of the Kisii municipality.
Governor, your management response.
Chairman, on management response, management concurs with the auditor's observation on budgetary control and performance. An amount of Kenya shilling 760,808 in the budget was an opening balance, which was erroneously captured. The under expenditure, Mr. Chairman, of 81,688,344, representing 50% of the budget, was occasioned by delay completion of the projects, and payment were made based on satisfied works done. Chair, there are those attached extracts, extract A of the bank statement and 1B, satisfied certificate of work done.
Auditor, your comment on that response?
The management concurred on the amount of Kenya shilling 760,808 in budget was erroneously captured, and an expenditure of Kenya shilling 81,688,344, representing 50%. The supporting document reflect prior bank statements.
So what is your overall comment on the response to the query?
Yeah, the overall is that the executive were able to admit there was an error in terms of the budget, the opening of 76808. And in terms of the budget preparation, you may not able to roll off or carry from the previous year. And that's the error they made in that comparisons.
Okay, I will want you to comment on the issue of delayed completion of the project and hence the delayed in payments.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. In terms of the delays of the disbursements, there was some bank extract that has been provided in terms of how they are receiving the funds late. At the same time, in terms of even the certificate work done, you know, that brings the issue of the absorption. When we are saying that the budget absorption, probably one of the attributes could be you have received some of this fund late. That can cause in terms of the absorptions. But to receive some of these fundings maybe in advance, and the work done is being paid on time, then it means that the budget absorption can go up in terms of the expenditure.
Honorable members, it's your turn. This is a matter where there was under absorption of the budget, about 50% under absorption of the budget. As you do that, Senator Edie, please introduce yourself.
Chair, good morning, together with the committee. Good morning, Governor, together with the team. Nice to see you again. But as one of the deputy party leaders, we wanted just to have this one deputy leader, party leader here, but it's okay. But on a more serious note, Chair, on page 128.
Put your name on record first.
Oh, well, I thought they know me. Kisii is my neighborhood. So Eddie Gisheru Okech is my name. I'm certainly the senator from Migori County and a member of this committee.
So proceed.
Yeah, Chair, on page 128. 28, I'm looking at the statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts for the year ended 30th June. Are we together there? Page 128.
We are there.
Oh, this one is a different page. That's a page number. Chair, I'm seeing the indication of the figure under total revenue for 760,808. And in Governor's remarks, if I got him right, he said that that was the opening balance. Is that so? So if it was the opening balance, I would want to know what was the budget. What was the budgeted amount? You see that figure, Governor? Was the original budget equivalent to that amount, or that amount was just the opening balance from previous year?
It could be only an opening balance because it cannot be the budget. And it's wrongly, it was actually wrongly captured.
Okay.
Yes.
But still, what was the budget amount?
In that figure, you can see on that table is 163. That's the capital expenditure for that financial year.
The 163 million. But that was the total I'm seeing that as capital expenditure. Okay. 292.
The 163.
Yes.
The 163 is the total development budget.
Okay. So this 163 was allocated.
Well,
it was not just the budget, but it was also allocated, right?
In the query, that is. In the query, that's
Yes.
what they're saying.
Chair,
Yeah.
Chair, I, as a point of info to Senator Eddie's very good question, I believe the OAG should tell us, was any of this money from any land? It's the full amount which came from the executive allocated through the assemblies. I know you've got the list of all the funds that were allocated to the county government during that time, both from revenue.
The understanding about this because it says this is a donor funding. Where is Musawe? Yeah. Give me the
You
mic.
can create space for him, please.
Thank you, Chair, for the figure that has been captured in the statement. 2, that's UDG, Urban Development Grant, and UIG, Urban Institutional Grant. The 760, it was for Urban Institutional Grant, and the grant was made for it was for one, and it was for 50 million. For this previous financial year that we had received the full of 50 million.
Chair, I'm a little bit confused here, but I'll try and there are two budgets here. If I perhaps you can help me. There is a revenue budget. So I want us to clear first of all the revenue budget. Then we can be able to clear the development budget. Because the revenue budget, what I'm getting, and unless I'm completely wrong, because I've just gotten in here, but readers can help me, is that there was a revenue budget of 760, 880. And the reason why it's showing nil is because that revenue budget was not funded. Right? And that's why I was asking, is the revenue budget a budget that revenue budget, was it put there because it was a previous year closing balance? Then it was being carried forward as an opening balance in the current year. For revenue. Or you use another closing balance. Therefore, there was no revenue raised. Of budget. Before I go to the understep spending or and expenditure on the development capital. So before you got there, can you clarify for us project revenue, or is it because you merely just carried forward a closing balance from the previous year?
Chair, I want to just to restate again. This, as I indicated earlier, this was a carried forward of 7.
Auditor, why did you have an issue with that? If there's was it? Are you okay carried forward?
Chair, and maybe through the chair, yes. When you prepare the budget,
yes,
as you even rightly put earlier on, you are projecting. You can see there's original budgets, and also if there's an adjustment, then there's final budgets. So this money you have already received prior year, so you will not need to carry again forward in terms of the budgeting. You remember the budget preparation is zero-based budgets in terms of the revenue and the expenditure. So that the projected revenue and also the projected expenditure. Then now you make a comparison on actual on that financial year, but not necessarily carrying forward maybe the closing balance of the bank statements, reflecting as the budget. That's the issue the audit had.
So, Chair, you know, I've seen this issue of budgetary control. Maybe, and you know, it's common in all the counties. I don't know. It looks like there is a way the auditor is expecting, and then there is a way the county governments or the accountants are doing, and then it raises a query. So I'm just that maybe some capacity or maybe market needs and treasury. I mean, that this is a common thing. So for us to stop this thing in the future, maybe we need to think what really needs to be done so that the counties basically are capacitated so that they know what to do instead of this thing recurring every year, because I've seen it is everywhere. So it's a challenge. Yeah, actually, I want to concur with you. This query appears in there is a gap there, which you need to address, maybe between the accountants and the auditor, so that you can agree on the way forward. But let's have Senator Eddie.
My last question, and perhaps
I want us to conclude on that.
Yeah. So, comment. The reason why I brought the issue of 760 is because the governor said it was an opening balance, a close. Is that utilization based on the previous year or the current year?
That financial year, 2022, if you roll off the previous, and of course you can't, that's already an error, then it means that that year you have not projected the revenue that you are supposed to receive, and you have not even projected in terms of the actual. So that's why you see it zero. And even in terms of the preparation of the use, in terms of utilization, is indicated zero, because that's where now the part of the revenue we are talking about.
Yes, my comment now, because of that, is that I would have wished to see a projected revenue as the basis of this revenue, not the closing balance. And if there was closing balance, then what this means is that there is no activity that is expected in the municipality in this subsequent year. That is the basic interpretation, which is why I was concerned about that, Chair. Yeah, so I need to see a clear projected revenue, unless you're saying that that projected revenue is only I mean, the revenue budgeting is only going to depend on the opening balance, which is not true. Municipalities are functional, they work every day, so there has to be a projected revenue, and that projected revenue, we can only add the opening balance as a tool for reappropriation in the year that in the current year. So that is a serious misnomer. I hope the accountants will take note of that, because when the auditor called this a revenue budget, it isn't. It isn't in the sense that this is purely a closing balance carried forward. A revenue budget must have projected revenues for that particular year.
Senator Nyonka.
Chair, without us spending so much time on this issue, I just wanted to make a recommendation that the the audit, with the fact that they actually looked at this issue and reconsidered it.
Yeah, thank you, Chair.
Is a wrong accounting. It's not an error. It's a wrong accounting.
And Senator Eddie can't change it. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe before we close, I would like to know Mr. Ongeri. Is he around? Mr. Ongeri? Mr. Jojo Guare. These are our two very important people, because the financial statements are signed by the two, but they are dated. They are for the year ended June 2022, but they are dated December and 12th January 2024. I don't know whether, auditor, you had an opportunity to look at this. Mark, you can chip in.
Chair, I think there's a query there on late submission of financial statements. I think that might explain.
Oh, okay. So this is to do with late submission of
Yes, Chair.
financial statements.
Yes, Chair.
Okay. We'll come back to that. So, honorable members, on this we are going to give a recommendation on the budget control and performance, interim recommendation. The next query.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. The next query is failure to maintain retention account. The statement a trade and other payables, a deposit retention balance of Kenya shilling 7,317,907 as disclosed under Note 10. However, management did not maintain a separate retention account for such monies to cover any defects in construction of the contracts. In circumstances, contractors' retention monies may be used for other purposes, which may lead to municipalities being sued by the contractor.
You can finish the query. Okay. Governor, your response?
Chair, management concurs with the Auditor's General observation on failure to maintain a retention account. It's important to note that this is a donor-funded project with specific terms and conditions on account opening. Retention account is not a donor requirement. However, the retention monies were prudently managed and paid, and we can have them in those attachments. 2A, 2B.
Okay, Auditor, your comment?
The management concurred with the observation of the failure to retain retention account. However, coinciding with the balance of Kenya shilling 7,317,972, the audit query raised. So there is an unexplained variance of 1,520,000.
So maybe, Governor, you can explain the difference of about 2 million.
Can I hand over to my person?
Accountant?
Okay, thank you, Chair. As the auditor put a clause about the retention, that we did not have a retention account, and the variance is talking about of 1.2 point something million that we which is not reflected in the schedule that we provided. No, these have been ongoing works, and we only at the end of this financial year we had to clear those who had finished works, and there's a bill to pay the full retention amount. So by the end of this financial year, the mentioned amount
Thank you, Chair. If the amount which is outstanding, the variance 1.5, indicating that the amount that need to be paid maybe within this financial area, maybe work has not been done, then if that schedule will be provided, then the issue will be cleared. Because we queried around 7.3 million, but the supporting schedule that has been provided is indicating 5.7 million.
So can you provide that additional schedule?
Yeah, the management will give us time, the management will provide.
In the next 14 days.
Yeah.
The additional schedule for 2 million.
Thank you.
Yeah. Unless if a member you have any additional issue to raise. Okay. So the last query, that is late submission of financial statement. This is a compliance issue, but proceed and read out the query.
Thank you, Chair. Let's submission of the financial statement. The financial statement for the Kisii municipality for the year ended 30th June 2022 was submitted for audit on 19th October 2023, contrary to Section 47(1) of the Public Audit Act 2015, which requires a financial statement for the financial year ended 30th June 2023 to be submitted to the Auditor General by 30th September. And management did not provide an explanation for the late submission.
Governor, your management response?
Chairman, the management concur with the auditor's observation on late submission of financial statement for the financial year 2021-2022. Subsequently, management has complied, Mr. Chairman. There is an extract there of submitted financial statement for the financial year 2022-2023 to show that we are complied.
Auditor, your comments?
The management concurred with observation on the late submission of the financial statement for the year ended 2021-2022. However, the extra financial statement 2022-23 was not provided, but I think currently now it's provided. When we are doing the verification, it has not been provided. But we can see now the document has already been provided to us.
Senator Nyonka?
The OAG, I go back to the same question I asked you earlier. And Chair, I'm really struggling with the recommendation or with the observations that OAG makes. Why don't you want to pronounce yourself how you cure this problem? Because it's not only appearing in Kisii, it's the whole Republic, isn't it? And then on top of that, I don't know that you observed that this was the period of transition. I don't know, Chair, you see my point.
Yes.
What can we do to make sure that the process continues even when the politics is going on and transition is taking place? I have seen that in so many other counties. What would you want us to do? Because our job is to legislate and oversight.
Chair.
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 Yes.
Chair, you know, I think the legal counsel needs to read for us the relevant section when you do late submissions. Secondly, Chair, Governor, I think your accountants are very lazy. If you check the responses, they are standard. It starts with I concur. And they don't give further reason. There is no flesh in those statements. So, I mean, this is being lazy. I mean, you're a serious governor and deputy party leader. I mean,
Chair, just before the legal goes, you know, Governor, we had the auditor here, and we had 3 hours with the Auditor General because we are having a lot of documents to look at and a lot of county entities to audit, to the extent that we really actually want to catch up with time and be able to do as many as possible so that we can be able to get to the current books of the current governors. Now, the problem we are having is this issue of late submission. You know, when Senator Kisang says your officers have said, I concur, it's basically going to the law, to the court and saying, I am guilty. And Governor, I think that probably you're going to be the first county that is going to be punished with this, your officers. Because this idea that what the law calls accounting officers constantly putting their governors in a very bad light of not doing their work must stop in counties. It must. And I think that the accounting officer, before we read the punishment, I want you to read for us PFM section 149. What is the title of that section of the law? Can you give the officer? First of all, read the title, because I'm getting irritated and tired of officers who don't do their work, and then because governors cannot run the entire county, you have got what the PFM Act clearly calls accounting officers.
and they must do their job. What does that title say?
Through your chair, the title of the heading of section 149 of the PFM is responsibilities of accounting officers designated for county government entities.
Responsibilities. If an accounting officer does not know their responsibility according to that PFM Act, they're going to be liable in this committee. What does that section K say?
Under that subsection 2, paragraph K, it reads that not later than 3 months after the end of each financial year, the relevant accounting officer is supposed to prepare annual financial statements for that financial year and submit them to the Auditor General for audit with a copy to the county treasury.
What that says is that you do not need to wait for the auditor. Even before violating section 47(1) of the Public Audits Act, you already violated that PFM. Because the month that is required by the section 47(1) of the Public Audits Act is actually pulled from that particular section of your responsibility. Now, listen to what you're putting the governor on, which I think that the governor, after this, you're going to give you a charge, and then it is the responsibility of the officer to go and deal with it. Read for me section 62 of the Public Audits Act.
Through you, Chair, section 62 of the Public Audit Act is on the offenses by other persons, and it reads as follows. A person, that is section 62, subsection 1, a person shall not, without reasonable cause or lawful excuse, obstruct or hinder, assault or threaten a member of staff of the Office of the Auditor General or professional acting under this Act. Then the relevant ones are paragraph B and C, without justification, fail to provide information required under this Act. C, without justification, fail to provide information within reasonable time that is required under this Act. Then there is the issue of submit false or misleading information and misrepresent to or knowingly mislead a member of staff of the Office of the Auditor General or professional acting under this Act, or interfere with or exert undue influence on any staff of the Office of the Auditor General or on any person authorized by the Auditor General to perform the functions under the Act. And then the fine is under subsection 2, where it reads that a person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 5 million shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or to both. Thank you, Chair.
That's the law. When you said you concur, this committee sits under Article 125 of the Constitution. It's a high court. So I don't think there's anything the chair can do. You have concurred that you violated those sections and the punishment is there. It's 5 million or 3 years jail term or both. I think if the chair is very lenient, he might give you 5 million, because I don't think you want to go for 3 years in jail. Or he can actually give you both if he really wants to send a message. It's that simple. The accounting officers are giving governors headache in the county. You've got a section for yourself in the PFM Act. This is not about the executive seat of the governor. It's not in question here. It is directly on you, 149 of the PFM Act. So, Chair, I don't know how today you woke up, whether you took tea, whether you were nice, I don't know. But I think that is the law of what they have concurred about. If you choose, you can punish and then make it known to the country that there are some accounting officers who do not do their job that need that punishment through the executive, who is the governor.
Just for your information, the two accounting officers, that is Nahashon Ongeri, who was the municipal manager, and George Ongware, who was the municipality accountant. Governor, are they still in employment, these people? Or they left?
Chair, I can confirm that one Nahason Ongeri is on disciplinary.
Is on disciplinary?
Yes. May I ask, where's George Ongware? Ongware is there.
Yeah, this Ongware, he should have been here. This Ongware has an ISPAC number 8093, and according to the status, his membership is active, but he is not in good standing, meaning that his training points are below the required threshold.
I can come with him next time if you require.
Yeah.
Bring.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think what has been said is that ordinarily the law provides, the Public Audit Act, that these people should be punished on this offense. I will ask Senator Onyonka to say something, and then I give my direction on this.
Chair, my point is that actually I'm agreeing with Eddie. That's why I told and mentioned to the OAG that what is the way out of this? What are the recommendations you make? And Chair, you could interface that with your ruling. What are the recommendations you make so that the same thing does not be repeated again? That's for me where I am, because I always keep saying the system is broken. This is, Chair, one way on how the system is deliberately broken to make sure that these things happen. Thank you.
What the Senator is saying in your report, don't leave it vague. You need to be very specific. You say such and such officer should be punished under the law, so that people will start taking submission seriously. When you leave it to us, and you are the one who is supposed to actually implement the Public Audit Act. So, Auditor, please, Mark, you can come in to support what he's going to say.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. As Senator has said, I think the issue of late submission has been a very big problem in this country. But even in terms of looking in terms of the financial year when it ends, the financial year ends 30th June. Yeah, actually, the law just provides a ground for that grace period of 3 months. But ideally, the financial statement must be ready by July. Yeah, there's nothing stops the financial statements to be cleared by even July and August. In terms of even some of the listed companies, which we normally also audit, which are also being guided for them to have an AGM, they do their submission by 30th June, and we do the audits. Even by 30th September, the audit has already been done. So in terms of the main national members of the counties, the best thing is just to enforce for them to do the compliance in terms of preparing these financial statements in advance and submitting them to be audited, because the year ends actually by 30th June. And if in terms of proactiveness, we normally do what we call quarterly reportings. So if you do quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, by the time you do quarter 4, you already have even financial statement in place, and that ought to be the best practice. Thank you.
So the two members, please put yourself on record.
Senator Tabitha Mutinda, a member of this committee. Karibu sana, Governor, and our member, former Nairobi MP, bado tunakutambua. I do not care if I would just quickly brush in my query to the CEC Finance, who is the overall in charge on this matter, so that as my colleague also puts in stable record, he can prepare a feedback to this committee as to why these documents were also submitted late, because you are the one in charge of this accounting team. Thank you, Chair.
Proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Chair.
Rioba.
Senator Gloria Roba, a friend of the committee, and nominated senator from Kisii County, the delegation of Kisii.
Okay, CEC Finance, through the governor, please respond to the senator before I make my direction.
Thank you, Chair. We have tried, or have tried as CEC Finance to understand the reason as to why.
And just to know that when we talk about accounting officer, apart from the two, you are also included there. You are the accounting officer on matters finance.
My honesty, Chair, thank you, is that we did agree. I did inquire the department, and there has been a reason as there was late submission. They did say they did submit. We had sitting with the auditors and agreed, but I didn't get documentary evidence showing that they did submit and the same was not received with the auditors. That's the explanation as to why. So that we had to concur that we had no reasons to why.
Just quickly, for how long have you been the CEC for finance in that department in Kisii County? Be on record, please.
This is my second year, Chair. I joined in 15th November 2022.
Would I be wrong to tell this committee that you are also lagging behind in ensuring that you push on timelines?
Senator Mutinda, we are constrained of time. The process you want to take him through, we have already gone through that. So I don't want us to.
Good to know that he's the overall, he's the boss in that department.
But
still, you need to, tighten the loose ends.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. So what I want to direct is this is an offense, as has been read out by the legal officer. But I would be lenient for this session. But the next session, if we have this query coming up, the CEC Finance, CEO Finance, and the two municipality accounting officers, you'll be liable. And you have heard what is involved, the fine and the prosecution. So the committee will not hesitate to prosecute, to recommend prosecution. So the only reason why I am being lenient is because, one, this is the very first time we are looking at municipality reports. And number two, the report in question was for the year ended June 2022, which, as rightly said by Senator Onyonka, it was a transitional period. But you have made an attempt, Governor, under your regime, you made an attempt to submit the financial statement, but very late. So for that reason, I will be lenient, but next time, I will not be lenient. I will recommend that actually the Public Audits Act takes effect, especially Section 61.
Chair.
Honorable members, I do not want to.
Chair,
as to revise that, we need to make.
I'm not revising, Chair.
We have two reports ahead of us.
I get it, but
Yeah.
this is a substantive issue that has occurred in this committee so many times.
Yeah, but we have discussed.
I know you have made a ruling, but I think that there's just something that I think is important for the CEC to take note of, right? Because, Chair, if this comes back again, one thing I wouldn't want to see anybody going to jail. So let's just give them comprehensive feedback so that next time they, and I comply, Chair, with your ruling. You know, I will never question or vary your ruling. But, Chair, you see, if you observe what the CEC has said, there are now two offenses that have emerged. There's an offense of lack of documented submission to the Treasury. That's what I got. There was no submission from the relevant entity to the Treasury. And then the second offense is what we have been overly looking at, which is submission to the auditor. And because the CEC is the head of Treasury, I just wanted, because this is my neighbor county, good practices will come to Migori. And bad practices will also come to Migori because we are neighbors. I hang out with you guys a lot. My governor hangs out at your place. We go to your place. You might hang out with bad manners. So what I would request you to do, through the chair, of course, number one, put down Section 149 of the PFM Act. Go and have all your accounting officers, because and master it. Number two, Section 47(1) of the Public Audit. That section is actually irrelevant, 47. And then number three is Section 62 of the Public Audits Act. Master that. But because you have pricked my conscience with this mistake that you're more dangerous. So go and master Section 197. that says offenses of financial misconduct. Because now what I'm seeing again arising is the misconduct in the entities and in the treasury. Those offenses are very critical. And then master section 199 of those, of what the penalties are in the PFM Act. Now, even not in the Public Audit Act. This is why I'm saying I'm reading this for you, is because the chair has said is lenient. Under PFM, the chair has got no any provision for leniency, because it says except as otherwise provided by this act. Leniency of the chair can only come at a place that except as otherwise provided by this act. A person who is found guilty of committing an offense under this act for which no other punishment is given, that person is liable on conviction to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 5 years, or to a fine not exceeding 10 million shillings or both. This is lifted to go to the Public Audit Act. And here there is no leniency. So just master those, you'll be fine, because the governor is fine, but don't put your governor in trouble, because if you put you in trouble, he will put you in trouble as well. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. And I forgot to say, apart from the CEC, CEO, and the 2 officers, the municipal board, you are also on that list of people who can go to jail because of this provision. Governor, I don't know, the municipal board, is it in place?
They are not, Mr. Chairman.
They are not in place.
They're not. Only one person here. Here.
No,
they are.
you have a board?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have it.
So who is representing the board here?
The CC planning.
The CC lands. You need to tell them that they are also liable on this matter, because the law on urban areas and the Cities Act puts them in that bracket of ensuring that there is financial accountability, and this includes that segment of financial accountability. So anyway, I have given direction on that matter. So, honorable members, that brings us to the end of the the audited reports for Kisii municipality for the 3 years. Now we will look at the audited reports for 2 years for Kisii County Health Improvement Fund. Is the document in yellow, honorable members? The UDO.
Why is the document not in orange?
So, auditor, please take us through the report in the manner that I had directed you, starting with the year ended June 2021.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. The report of the Auditor General for the financial year statement for the Kisii County Health Facility Improvement Fund for the year ended 30th June 2021. Issue number 1 is budgetary control and performance not addressed, and that year was just only issue of budgetary. Then we go to the year ended 30th June 2022. Issue number 1 is long outstanding receivable from exchange transactions. The issue was partially addressed. Then issue number 2 is about budgetary control and performance. Issue not addressed.
So, honorable members, as has been pointed out, the report for the year ended June 2021 was unqualified. It had only one query, budget control and performance, which is not addressed. But that query recurs in the next year of June 2022. So we'll consider it in June 2022. Then we have the report for the year ended June 2022. We had 2 queries. That is long outstanding receivables from exchange transaction and budget control and performance. So we are only going to cover the 2 queries because the one of budget recurs. So we'll cover the latest year of 2022. So auditor started us off on long outstanding receivables from exchange transaction.
Thank you, Chair.
Page 53 of the response document. Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. The long outstanding receivables from the exchange transactions. The statement of the financial position reflects a receivable from the exchange transaction balance of Kenyan shilling 45,941,894. However, analysis of the detailed supporting schedule provided for audit revealed that the balance includes a receivable from National Hospital Insurance Fund, NHIF, amounting to Kenyan shilling at 6,114,764, which had been outstanding for the period ranging from 7 days to 11 months, contrary to Section 27E of the National Health Insurance Fund Act 1998, which requires a valid claims to be settled within a period of 1 month from the date of the submission of the claims. In circumstances, the recoverability of receivables amounting to Kenyan shilling at 6,114,764 could not be confirmed.
Governor, your management response.
Thank you, Chairman. Again, I want to say that the management concurs. Because that's what is written here. Concurs with the auditor's observation that there were long outstanding receivables from National Hospital Fund, that's NHIF, ranging 37 days to 11 months. This was occasioned by the delayed disbursement of funds by the NHIF. There has been a concerted effort by management in following up the claims. So far, Mr. Chairman, 42,915,594 relating to the period under review has been reimbursed, leaving a balance of 3,026,300 still outstanding. And we can find them in the attachment of 1A, 1B, and 1C, Mr. Chairman.
Auditor, your comments on the management response?
Chair, management concurred with the observation that there was a long outstanding receivable from NHIF. However, so far, Kenyan 42,915,594 relating to a period and a review has been reimbursed, leaving a balance of Kenyan 3,006,300, which is still outstanding.
So, Governor, maybe with your follow-up with NHIF, what is the current position? When have they committed to clear the 3 million?
Chairman, there was earlier communication that before we moved from NHIF to SHIP, they would have finished in the reimbursement of this money, but so far they have not done it. We expect that they will do it anytime soon. It is beyond our control again because they're the people who are supposed to be giving us that money back.
Okay, floor is open for members. Proceed, Kisan.
I don't know. There is a letter that was done on 11th of January 2023 from NHIF saying that they have cleared. So, you know, sometimes, yeah, what NHIF does, because I have an interest there or share, if the claims are not valid, you know, sometimes they reject some claims. So I don't know if all the 42 million or 45 million claims were really valid, all of them, because they are paid. You still have outstanding 3 million, and they are saying they are cleared from the letter that is here. So I don't know.
And looking at your response, Governor, you have said so far 42 million has been reimbursed, but the amount in question was 36 million. So what is the breakdown of the 42 million? Because it seems way above the what was outstanding of 36 million.
Chair, let me ask the CC Health to respond to that.
CC for health.
Thank you, Chair. We keep on claiming these monies from NHIF monthly because patients keep using NHIF on daily basis. So every month we keep on claiming anything that is outstanding from NHIF.
So are you suggesting that for this particular query, because the query was about 36 million, that has been cleared?
Yes. Yes, yes, Chair.
Yeah, auditor, can you confirm that? So that the balance of the amount, that is 6 million, is for the current period.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe just for correction, the issue of receivable, which is outstanding, we raised 45 million, 45.9 million, but out of that was 36 million, which relates to NHIF. So overall was 45 million. And the county was able to demonstrate they were able to collect 42 million. And that's why the variance of 3 million is still outstanding.
No, make us understand. You said 45 million is your total receivables.
Yes.
And NHIF is 36. So are you trying to say that the additional 9 million is still coming from NHIF?
Not really. You know, when we talk of receivables, it's not only NHIF, there are other receivables. So in terms of the financials, we look amount receivable of 45 million. But in terms of the breakdown, we just see the component of NHIF, that's 6 million, which we're a bit concerned about in terms of the submissions. But overall, the county has indicated they have collected 42 million. Yeah, a shortfall of 3 million.
So what we are asking...
Chair, can I help here?
Chair, just a quick, auditor, the 42 is from NHIF or is from what receivables?
No, Chair.
All encompassed with others?
No.
Can you...
Is this. In the financial statement, a vote of 45 million receivables. These receivables could be from anybody who owes this particular health improvement alone. So what that then means is that NHIF is no longer in question. Deductive reasoning. NHIF is no longer in question. However, because that NHIF would mean that you need to subtract 36 million from the 42 million, okay? 36 million from 42 comes to what? Do we have a physical analysis here? That's 6, isn't it? So NHIF has done well, in my view. The NHIF as a function of receivables has done well because they have paid for the entire outstanding 36 and they've got into the current year. Yeah. However, there is still 9 million receivables that hasn't been resolved, which we need to know who are these debtors to the health
that is
fund.
true.
Yes.
That is very true.
Yes.
There is the 9 million, but the auditor has not raised a query on that. The query is on the 36 million. He hasn't raised, maybe that could be a separate query, but on the 36, which is supposed to come from NHIF, that is the query. And then the county is saying they have already received 42 million, which means the 36 in question has been cleared. So we are remaining with an extra 6 million, which is, as the CEC Health was saying, could be for the subsequent claims, NHIF claims. So the auditor, it is a bit confusing. You need to clarify on the issue of the 9 million. The 9 million, you have not raised it as part of your query.
Or the 9 million you're not worried about. You are worried about the NHIF one, which the NHIF then the county has solved so we can move forward. Because I think that the county has done well and performed up and above the 36 million. The county has actually received 6 billion more for the current year. So the fund is doing well in terms of
So,
recovering.
Auditor, respond to that. We want to make progress.
Sure, maybe in terms of what we raised, the 45,941,894, if you look even in terms of page 111, and 1B.
Page 111, yes, that's the financials, eh?
What financials? The annex.
There's annexures, eh?
Yes, the annex, 111. 111.
Yes, we are there.
They are named of the facilities, which range from 1 to 17.
Yes.
And there was an outstanding amount by 30th June 2022, which totals to 45,941,894.
Yes, we can see that.
And then paid to debt, which has already been supported from the response, is 42,912,915,594.
So let me, for the purpose of time, Chair, let's resolve this. Governor, that page that we are in, and perhaps the manager of the fund, the chair of the fund, turn to that page that the order stand as to page 1111, which I think now go all the way to page 112. Are we there? There's an amount there which was queried of 45,941,894. Are we there? A simple question. Is that entire amount owed to you by NHIF, or are there other people who owe you part of that amount?
This is, through the chair, this is strictly from...
Be on record, just put the mic close.
This is strictly from NHIF.
It's strictly from NHIF. So then, Chair, there was a misnomer in terms of the capture of definition of that receivable. So the receivable is entirely an HIF receivable. Or we want to be at par in that. So therefore, it means that actually there is still 3,226,000 that is still pending receivable on NHIF. And therefore, we are denoting NHIF as the only receiver. Is that okay, Auditor? That's the understanding. Okay, so can perhaps the governor explain to us when is this expected and what is the added on the 3 million, so that we can move forward?
Maybe just share to clarify why we narrow down the 6. We are doing the aging analysis, and that's why we are bringing the issue from 37 days. Some of them will be current. So the whole amounts for NHIF, but we are doing the aging analysis in terms of compliance of 30 days claim payments. Yeah.
Chair, yes, this was indicated earlier. I don't operate in a child. Therefore, we go there days before they have numerous of counties they're giving. Therefore, they decide to give you 1 million, 2 million. So far, we have pushed them to this extent to 42 in the balance of 3 million.
Chair, could I get a clarity from what Senator Kisang had earlier inquired? You had written a letter to NHIF dated 5th, and you received a response from NHIF 6 days after, that was on an 11th. NHIF indicating that, kindly note that the facilities funds were cleared into the payees accounts as per the attached listing on the current status of the accounts. Did you give a further, letter indicating that there is still a balance owing amount 3 million? Because you seemed to be satisfied with this feedback, which tells the committee that there is no outstanding according to NHIF.
I'm sure there could be that communication. It's only that I don't know. Let me hear from the CEC.
Okay.
Chair, I want to respond that, as I've said earlier, we keep on claiming from NHIF on monthly basis what is owed to the county. So when they pay, they don't indicate that this payment is for this specific period. Money just keeps on coming in from NHIF as we claim on monthly basis. Although sometimes we experience delays from NHIF in disbursement of these funds.
So there was no further letter from this response. You got satisfied?
Not really, because not every time we do letters, we send vouchers to NHIF claiming for the monies that they owe the county from these facilities.
Thank you for your response. But there's a problem we're trying to cure. As a country, we have notions whereby we have policies, but we don't want to adhere to them because we have a notion that this is how it works. NHIF delays and delays, and it's like it's okay. It shouldn't be okay because it is in your mandate and your responsibility to push, because already KRA during the payments, you're pushed to do the submissions. As we speak as Senate, we are pushing for counties to receive the 401 billion, and we are arguing from the perspective of the NSSF contributions, these chief issues that are coming. So as a county, you've adhered. But now you also don't want to push the provider, NHIF, to adhere to these timelines. There should be a push. There should not be a response of, that is how, they work. How do they work then? We cannot have a country that people are just waking up and deciding this is how we work. Then why do we have policy implementers? CEC, you have to push. Are you the CEC or which position are you?
Through the chair, I'm the CEC Health, and I want to confirm as late as yesterday, I was at NHIF offices claiming for several millions of shillings that they owe the county before we transition to shift.
Just quickly, being on the floor through the governor, you have board members?
Yes, we do have a board.
Who's the chair of the board?
I'm the chair of the board.
So can you tell this committee how you are the chair of the board and your act does not require, it requires you to appoint members? Did you appoint yourself to be a member of the board? I'm just curious.
No, I don't appoint myself to be the member of the board.
So how are you chair of that board?
I was...
you were?
I was appointed by the Act. The Act provides, the F5 Act provides that the CC becomes the member of the board. We have
member or chair?
I mean the chair of the board.
Chair of the board. Legal, can you provide that act before the committee as we progress? Or do you have the response through the chair?
The chair may be the county government of Kisii to provide the act, because under the 2023 Act, that is the Facilities Improvement Financing Act. The membership that is provided for is what it establishes the county health management team. That is under Section 10, and under that county health management team that is appointed by the county health management team shall be appointed by the county executive member for health as follows. That includes the county director of health, who shall be the chairperson, the administrative officer of the department, and all the section units within that health department, and the medical superintendents of county hospitals. So for this fund, it's county specific. It's for them now to provide what the Act provides on the membership of their board.
I thought you were reading their act.
No. This one is the national act.
Which supersedes, of course, legal.
Yeah, but they have their own act now. Now they operationalize and operate and manage their FIF. Is the one they follow. This one is just gives the guideline. This one is for the county health management team. It's not for the fund.
Through you, Chair, just quickly, Governor, do you have your attorney today, the county attorney with you, by any chance?
No.
It's okay, thank you. Legal, just in the meantime, because all regulations are within you can Google and be able to get. As we progress, just provide the act for Kisii County Health Act.
You see, honorable members, we still have a big report on Kisii Referral Hospital. This query has been explained because the amount in question was 36 million. They have recovered 42 million from NHIF. So for this very specific query, the matter is addressed. Yes. But subsequent claims from NHIF is what is not addressed, but is not yet a query here.
But Chair, it's not a query, and also I also don't think that it features in this particular financial year. That will be a matter of the next financial year.
Yeah, maybe the next
because of what they already have talked about, the aging analysis on that amount, right? Which I think that the county has done really, really well to recover up and above.
Yeah.
So I think then we should proceed. In fact, we should clear that query.
Yeah, that query is resolved.
It is resolved. We should clear it and then move to the next.
It's resolved. So, Senator Mutinda, we are still going to go into deeper health matters when we'll be looking at Kisii referral, which has your questions until then. But we move on to the last query. This, which is budget control and performance. 54.
Auditor proceed. Thank you, Chair. Budget control and performance. The statement of comparison of the budget and actual amount reflect a final revenue budget, an actual on comparable basis of Kenya shilling 202,983,709 and Kenya shilling 105,521,854 respectively, resulting to underfunding of Kenya shilling 97,461,945 or 2% of the budget. Similarly, the fund spends an amount of Kenya shilling 163,394,463 against an approved budget of Kenya shilling 232,983,709, resulting to an expenditure of Kenya shilling 69,589,162 or 30% of the budget. The underfunding and underperformance affected the plan activities and may have an negative impact on delivery of the health service to the residents.
Sorry, Chair, the management concurs with the auditor's observation on revenue collection by 42% of the total budget. The short of claims from the National Hospital Insurance Fund. The under expenditure of 69,589,162, representing 30% of the budget, was occasioned by unturned revenue projection, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Auditor, your comments on management.
Thank you, Chair. The management concurred with observation on unattained target revenue collection by 42% of the total budget and that expenditure of 69.5 million, representing 30% of the budget.
Okay, members, your comments. This is a matter of underfunding and underperformance of the budget. Underfunding of 97 million and underperformance, under expenditure, which is underperformance of 69 million. Governor, the delayed disbursement of NHIF was 36 million, as we have seen from the previous query. So that leaves you with another about 61 million. So what can you say about that?
Let me ask my CC to respond to that.
CC?
Yes, Chair. We don't only depend on NHIF, we also have insurance and Linda Mama, which we also get on monthly basis, although currently Linda Mama is not working.
Then you should have said that in your response. You only focus on NHIF. You should have included that in your response, that Linda Mama delayed
and stating the amount. And also, you ended up spending 163 million. Up to there, are we together? Where did the extra amount come from?
Through the
Where
chair.
did, let me just do the tabulation for you, because we need to make it clear here. So we have got 163 minus 135. So you've got about 28 million up and above your actual revenue. Where did that come from?
I want to state that apart from NHIF, we also, from our facilities, we have money collected in cash that goes to the F5 account. Plus, as I've said earlier, Linda Mom also, we get some reimbursements from the expenses that are incurred by the patients when they visit these facilities.
Let's start this way. You did a revenue budget of 232 million. Is that correct? Where were you hoping to get that money from?
We were hoping to get this money from, of course, the patients who visit the hospitals.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have a schedule of where you are? Because I think that this is a binary control performance chair, and we have got a shortfall of 42%, and then we've got an upward spending of 30%. An expending of 30%. I think that it would be important that this query leads us to how can you be able to perform as a budget, and that's why I'm asking you these questions. I'm not interrogating you. I'm actually trying to look at what are the areas for performance for this budget. You budgeted for, this is a revenue budget. In your revenue budget, you budgeted for 232 million. Where did you hope to get this money? Do you have a schedule that I was hoping to get from NHIF, 45 million, which is the maximum you could be able to see from the previous query? Isn't it, Chair? And then the rest, where are you projecting? Do you have a schedule of where those projections are coming from?
Yeah, through the chair, I want to confirm to this committee that we also have several donors working with us in the county, the Department of Health. So when we budget, we also budget with our donors in mind.
I want you to help. I want to help you.
Let me answer that one.
Yes.
Given that that question is not a question, it's actually an extra question. If required to provide that schedule, we can provide where we are, projected to get that money from.
Governor,
at the moment, we don't have it here.
But Governor, that's actually the answer that should have come to this question, because the way the response would have expected here is a schedule that indicated the target for that 232 million. You see, so that the way the answer should have been comprehensive is, of the 232 million, we were expecting 50 million from donor Y. We were expecting 45 million from NHIF. We were expecting 90 million from Linda Mama. We were expecting 50 million from XY source. However, the shortfall of 97 million came because donor Y did not come with the 45 million, they came with 30 million. You see what I mean? And then Linda Mama, we ended up getting 30 million instead of 45 billion. Here, because this is about binary control and performance, and we have to see how do you overshoot. You don't expect that donor Y will give you money when they won't come up for you. So that if they won't come up, we can advise you that perhaps on this have this remedy from the governor or XYZ. But the way it is like a proper, we can't give you feedback. when you don't go into that detail on where were you hoping to raise that revenue and where were the big shortfalls, so that we target those and give you proper feedback on how to reduce that 42%. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, and in fact, before Senator Ojenda comes in, the budget is actually not balancing. Because if you look at the amount you raised was 135 million, but you spent 163 million, meaning that there is 28 million. Where did it come from? Because you only spend what has been realized. So where did the 28 million, extra million that you spent come from?
Chair, that's what I'm saying, that the only way they can be able to answer that is to have that breakdown.
Yes.
Remember, that was my first question. And that's where he wasn't seeing where I was heading. And this is not a question of being defensive. This is a question of how can we help your budget projection make sense so that you don't over budget or underspend. Because you have raised 135 million. That's the money you're declaring you've raised. But you have spent more than you. And I asked you, where does that money come from, 28? You know what you told me? You've got many sources. You know why you're saying you've got many sources? Because you don't have a schedule. You expect to have all those money. So I can say that actually the 28 million came from the governor because Donna White did not come up with that. Or the 28 million came from Linda Mama, but because NHIF did not come through for us. We need that rigor so that we can be able to give you proper feedback as financial team in this committee.
Senator Ojenda, put yourself on record and you proceed.
Thank you. Governor, welcome to the committee as the leader of my party, the deputy party leader. Yes, you know you have party leader, deputy. Yes. Now, just 2 points, Governor. I just wanted to just weigh in on the budget control and performance. Right from what Senator Eddy has asked, the plug-in, CC has referred to donors. Are you able to provide that schedule? Or can you, on top of your head right now, tell the committee how much money you received from donors during that year? But that ties into the other question. Did you therefore knowingly, is there information that you knowingly withheld from the auditors when the audit process was going on? And lastly, CC of Governor, was there money lost? I think that is the other crucial point in all this. Was there money lost? I see performance question and the year in Kasu 2021-2022. I don't know that COVID. What we're looking at here.
Yeah, so Governor, you can respond.
Chair, before I give them a chance to respond, hopefully we had a look at the earlier response, you'll realize what Senator Ojenda has asked, because that COVID element, which has not been, I'm sure, which has not been captured here. But it is a recurrence of the same question the previous year. Therefore, that bit of it I want to agree.
You should make me a CC. You can.
Their chair, that could have been, occasioned by the fact that there was COVID again in those variances that we are checking.
I think just a small input. The governor's response earlier to Senator Eddy, he had indicated that given time, he can also be able to provide this committee with the schedule so that reconciliation can be completed. If you could also direct within the timeline, because it is those reconciliations now that can bring to light if this 28 million was lost or really what transpired. Chair.
Okay, I think for us to determine that, we require that, Governor, your people submit the schedule to the auditor in the next 14 days to verify, and then auditor you submit to us in another 7 days. So that is 21 days, 14, then subsequently 7 days for the auditor.
Chair, for the purpose for the record,
Yes.
the difference between the 135 million and the 163 million expenditure does not necessarily mean loss of funds. I want to make that very clear. It doesn't necessarily mean loss of funds. Because remember, the revenue budget was 235 million. So I don't have a problem with that overshot expenditure above the realized revenue. I only have a problem with the performance, in the sense that you have budgeted for 235, you have realized that 135, and I want to know why you're realizing 135, which is 45% less. Which areas are you not performing at? And I think actually with that schedule, if the accountants are doing their job, it should actually reflect in the financial statement. Because when you're budgeting in the financial statement and you're doing a revenue budget, then you should that of these 232 million, right? We are expecting 50 million from Linda Mama. We are expecting 100 million from Donna. We are expecting this. And I don't know whether the auditors have got a financial statement. If it's not there, that's when you provide it. If it is in the financial statements, there's no problem. But then we can be able to go one by one and see where didn't you realize in terms of the collection. You see, you give us a schedule of the 232 million. And then the collection, 132. You also have to give us the schedule of where did 132 come from. We got 10 million from Linda Mama again. We got 30 million from NHIF. We got, the donor gave us 20 million. So that the two schedules, so that we don't condemn you in blanket that you did not perform. Maybe there's an area that you performed better than the other. So we look at the 132 million, actually the areas that help us realize this are these. Then maybe we realize that maybe one of those areas shot up by 28 million above its performance, which we should give you credit for, right? We should not just condemn you on the bad part, but also on the good part. But that is just prudence in terms of detailed financial statement. You don't even need to go and do a new schedule. If it's in the financial statement, it should show in the financial statement.
Okay, and another thing, CEC Finance and CEC Health through the governor. You know, whenever you have variation in your budget projections, then you need to do a supplementary budget. I don't know, to adjust the changes. Did you do supplementary budget? CEC Health and CEC Finance.
Chair.
Yes.
Let me ask the people who were in office then.
Yeah.
If, they saw it. Kiege, you were in office then. And can you tell us if there was the... Oh, you were not in L. Who was there? Chair will ascertain.
Governor, are you trying to, again, throw the previous governor at the bus? As you always do.
The governor has tried to fill the gaps of the other government.
We told you now the officers are, we are told they are ongoing.
Yeah.
Therefore, we have no reason completely. All these gaps, again, we're answering questions. Most of these questions, again, for the regime which was there. How I wish that there was provision in the Senate that you could call those ones who are in office. But now, the things could have been answered, so that I'm held responsible for every mistake that is committed at my time. Yeah.
Okay, honorable members, I think we reached the end of HIF. I don't know how much time we have to cover this. We now have Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital. And these are 4 financial. Time now is we are at 12:45. Yes, for financial years. Yeah. So let's see how much we can cover. It has quite a number of issues. To take us through the reports in the usual manner.
Thank you, Chair. The report of Auditor General to the financial statement for the Kisii Teaching Referral Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2020. Issue number 1, presentation of financial statements. The issues addressed. Issue number 2, failure to submit financial statements. The issue was addressed.
Compliance issue. That is a compliance issue. Yeah, it can only mitigate, and that one we had given direction.
Okay.
So it also applies here. Proceed.
Issue number 3 is about property, plant, and equipment, not addressed. Issue number 4, inventories, not addressed. Issue number 5 is budgetary control and performance, not addressed.
Are those issues which are not addressed recurring for the other years?
Yes, they are recurring.
Okay. Go to 2021.
The report of the Auditor General for the financial statement of the Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2021. Issue number 1, budgetary control and performance, not addressed, and it was only one issue for that year.
So it is recurring also?
Yes.
2022?
2022, the issue is also one item, which is again recurring, budgetary control and performance, and not addressed.
I have noticed a trend, Auditor. I don't know whether, Governor, you have noticed the same. That that the previous years they were getting unqualified opinion. Yeah, but during your time, that is for the year ended June 2022, then the real issues came out. I don't know, Auditor, where were the issues hiding for the previous years? Huh? Auditor, where were the issues hiding? Because when you look at year ended 2021, it's unqualified. Ended June 2022, unqualified. But now when you come to 2023, it's adverse. Because there are new issues which should have emerged much earlier.
Yeah, Chair, even for 2020, we were able to give advance opinion, which is there.
Okay, proceed to 2023.
2023, the audit report of the Auditor General on the financial statement for the
Chair.
Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2023.
Point of order.
What is your point of order?
Chair, I for 2022, 2021, I mean 2020 to 2022, I think some of the issues that are raised here we can actually be able to give recommendations, and I don't know, because I think the issues have gone through, issues like budgetary for performance. If the team was listening, we have given a very comprehensive approach to financial statement preparation. So then the other issue that I'm seeing here that could be able to consider is property, plant, and equipment. I can assure you that on that is just about transitions. And having a proper register for property. Failure to submit financial statements, we have talked very comprehensive on this, and I hope that, and I believe actually that the team has taken note. So why can't we just concentrate on the 2022-2023?
Yeah, because the issues are recurring. That's why I wanted us to consider the last year, which is 2023. So just take us through 2023 then.
Yeah, we support that.
Proceed with the unsupported amenity wing.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. For the year ended 2023, issue number 1 is unsupported amenity wing expenses, which is partially addressed. Issue number 2 is employees' cost, not addressed. The issue number 3 is property, plant, and equipment, not addressed. We have issue number 4 is about unsupported repairs and maintenance, not supported, not addressed. Then issue number 5 is general expense Kisii County interest, not addressed. Then issue number 6, more of the same budgetary control, not addressed. And issue number 7 is lack of training need assessments, which is not addressed. Of updated asset register, which is not addressed.
Okay, so I think the issue on unsupported amenity wing expenses. I think we'll look at that. And then employee cost, we'll look at that. The issue of property, plant, and equipment. Governor, this is similar to the one we saw in a municipality. The issue of land, buildings, motor vehicles, furniture, blah blah, and all, and even asset register, depreciation policy. I think in the same light we looked at the municipality. We'd like you to look at that as well. So we will not cover this for the purpose of time. We'll take the written response, but also direct that Governor put more effort around that asset management. So that goes on and on. It's very detailed. The matter of Doctor's Plaza is also there as part of that. The machines, dialysis, cryotherapy, and CT scan, all those. Are those issues related to the mess? They are related to the mess. This mess is really a mess. So then the matter on unsupported repairs and maintenance. Auditor, what was the main issue here?
The main issue here is the Manchik, whereby there was repair and maintenance cost. But in terms of looking the property, plant, equipment, it was not recorded. So there is mismatch about the repair and maintenance for some of these assets. But if you look in terms of the book of the accounts, some of these assets are not recorded under the hospital, like the vehicles and all.
So it is touching on the issue of assets.
Yes.
So I think that can also be managed under asset management as well. General expenses, Kisii County interest. What is it about, Auditor?
And outstanding interest of around 3 million. And currently, what has been supported is around 1.5 million. which falls short of the 3 million. And it was referred as general expenses, Kisii County.
So this impress was surrendered. Governor, I see in your response that the impress was surrendered, and he has attached the voucher. So what do you say about that, auditor?
I share the voucher that has been attached is 1.5, but the audit query was 3 million.
So there is still a balance of 1.5. So
Chair,
maybe, Governor, you
I'm
can...
informed that there are 2 vouchers attached.
confirm that. I'm trying to manage time so that we only deal with the key issues.
Yeah, too.
Confirm that as we go on. The other auditor can assist. Budget control and performance. I think we've spent more time on this. Where we have said if you cannot meet your budget figures, then you do a supplementary budget. Lack of training needs assessment. Auditor, what is the main issue here? 191,000. What is the main issue here?
Yeah, share. The audit query is about there was some training that has already been undertaken, but in terms of just confirming whether there is some training need assessments in place or maybe even the training plan has not been provided. But the county were able to explain that this expenditure relates to CBD hours for the doctors and also the accountants. So they were able to support that in terms of the CBD hours. But the major concern was the issue of the training need assessment and also in terms of the training plan, whether it's placed. That's the concern for the audit.
Okay, the issue of an lack of an updated asset register, I think this also covers what I had directed earlier. So, honorable members, in that case, the query on unsupported amenity wing expenses and employee costs. Yeah, those are the queries we are going to look at. So, auditor, take us through the first query. That is for the year ended June 2023.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Unsupported amenity wing expenses. The statement of financial performance reflects amenity wing expenses amounting to Kenya shilling 5,476,000, which, as disclosed in Note 12 to the financial statement, comprises contracted professional salaries and allowances amounting to Kenya shilling 2,465,000, and doctors, nurses, and administration officers, locum amount of Kenya shilling 3 million. However, documents such as contracts and engagement letters in support of the expenditure were not provided for audit. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completion of regularity of the amenity wing expenses of Kenya shilling 5,476,000 could not be confirmed.
Governor, your management response?
Chair, again, I want to confirm unsupported amenity wing expenses. This is regrettable. However, the management has since provided contract agreement and engagement letters as attached in schedule Annex 1A, 1B, and 1C.
Auditor, your comments?
Thank you, Chair. The management concurred the observation on unsupported amenity wing expenses. However, the management provided a part of the employment contracts for Kenya shilling 765,000 out of 2,465,000. Maybe, Chair, we raised in terms of, that's why we even indicated partially addressed, but there were documentation which was missing earlier on. especially the engagement letters and the contract agreements. But now, in terms of the submission, we can confirm that we have received those annexures.
You have received the annexure to support the 5.4 million. The total amount.
Share, in terms of the schedule that has been provided, unless the annex is missing, they are totaling to 3,566,500. Out of the issue, we queried about 5,476,000.
So what is outstanding?
Around 2 million is outstanding.
Adding the documentation. Advisors on this.
Chair. Explaining to me.
Accountant.
Thank you, Chair, for this chance again. On this note, on unsupported amenity wing expenses, as per the auditor query, they queried on the attachment supporting documents such as contracts, and we have provided those attachments. For the expenditure, already we had given, and we did not have an issue touching on the expenditure side. The only areas they queried us is the engagement letter and contract letters for those who are working under amenity wing.
Chair, since the gentleman is on the floor, would you confirm to the committee your names, please, quickly?
Thank you, Chair. My names are CP Elijah Musawi Mugaka.
Elijah, oh, Richard?
Elijah.
Elijah, oh, so Elijah, sorry, yes?
Yes.
Mugaka, your SPAC number?
24903.
24903. So you're the one who signed these financial statements?
Yes.
And you're the one responding on behalf of the governor, indicating that according to you, you've issued all the relevant documents. You are satisfied with what you delivered to the auditors?
No, as per the query, the auditors list, they asked about the attachment which were missing. That's what the contract and the engagement letter, and this is what we have supported.
So it doesn't bother you that the accountant are raising the issues that are not able to reconcile of amount almost 2 million?
As the auditor lists the issue, and we are ready to reconcile that amount, you can do it.
So you agree that the auditors do not have all the relevant documents for them to audit and reconcile on this matter. You agree?
Chair, let me help there.
The summer I was driving, I wanted it to catch your eye, Governor, because as much as Article 179 is in place, you've done your due diligence, you've given personnel and officers opportunities and jobs to work and deliver, true or false. And you find that the documents that are being asked, it's not you issuing these documents, it's CPA Elijah. And we need to be on the same page that he needs to own up, because the other concern I'm also having with Elijah, the CPA, a member of his board, under number 24903, is not in good standing as we speak. Why are you also not in good standing and you're also signing financial statements?
Are you in good standing?
Yeah.
Are you good or bad? Are you good or you're bad?
I'm not in good standing, but I'm
you're
active
bad.
member. I'm active member.
So you're in bad standing right now.
Currently, I'm not good standing.
No, just say bad. But you worked, but Elijah, you worked, the governor found you in Kisii County.
Yeah, yes.
For how long? Sorry. Been in Kisii County government?
I was in 2016.
2016, 8 years down the line. And issues that, you see, Chair, you're talking about time, but I'm looking at this issue. We are here because you simply did not remit the prerequisite documents that are needed for them to reconcile.
Chair. It's a point of order. The contribution. I'm really keen here and I'm getting tired. Proceed. And I think the governor looks very tired. I don't know that it's something the government is not telling us. No, not about tea. Tea is my adjacent governor, so I can get him tea. Tea is not a problem. But there's something the governor is not telling us. Governor, are you okay with this? All these employees? Is that the accountant who gave this document? Do you know the document that you're required to give? Do you understand the document that the auditor is asking for here? Through the governor, I'm just asking a very humble question.
Chair, I think I want to say this. This is among those officers I think who are better.
I give up.
Therefore, if you got to get what is happening. But again, Mr. Chair, you see what he's trying to explain is that the Auditor General asked about those contract letters for the issues of money. It had been reconciled then. Therefore, it's not an issue that we are going to reconcile now, as it were. But what the auditor had asked is what they are saying has been provided, and we are in agreement with the Auditor Generals.
You know what usually happens, Governor, and you need to take in interest. The hospital management, and we have seen that with other hospitals, they quietly engage casuals, quietly, and end up paying them these monies. You see, like in this case, all these people, are they employees of the hospital or they are just casuals? All these people who are paid, CEC Health, through the governor, can you tell us who are these people who are paid? Are they permanent employees or casual employees?
Let the CEO respond on that, because the one who engages those people.
Chair and honorable members, the hospital engages from time to time employees at the casual levels and the professionals as locum part-timers on contract.
Quite a number anyway. I think we'll have an opportunity to keenly go through it. So, Auditor, what is the way forward on this?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Maybe ours is, in terms of the contracts that have been provided, the engagement that has been provided. You remember we mentioned a figure of 5.4 million, and that figure needs to be supported with the schedule. So when Annex 1A, schedule of the amenity wing expenses, is not adding up to 5.476 million, then that's where we have an issue.
Chair.
Yes.
You see, it's already 1:08.
Yeah, we are not going to the very last query.
I know, and actually I want to discourage you from going to that. Because, Chair, reconciliation issues are very important issues. Reconciliation issues are not just an issue of providing a document here and there. And I think the accountants must take their work seriously. Chair, I don't know whether you noticed that this entire report was adverse. I don't know whether you noticed that. And I've gone through all the queries, I've gone through the last query, I've even gone through the query we left on the unsupported repairs of documentation, because otherwise somebody else reading this report would actually claim a loss of funds. That you put even the entire county in the risk of EACC, because the same problem that the auditor is asking here reflects on that unsupported repairs and maintenance, where you can have ghost workers in form of casual workers. You can also have ghost assets in terms of constant issue of that accounting problem. Because if you look at, I know we didn't look at it, we said we were not going to look at it. Chair, I would advise that the way we have treated, because this is the first time we're looking at this hospital, these reports need to be go and reconsidered with the governor and the auditors. If I'm to extend your leniency that you gave in the previous issue, in fact, this is where you need a lot of leniency to be able to allow the governor and the auditor to go and look at these reports and do a lot of adjustments, even if it's going to be a prior year adjustment. Let the accountant go and do that, because the query is here that if you leave, even this query, if you leave it just at the face value of it, you will give the county trouble. Somebody else will come and hold this document, might have a different interpretation on a strictly financial understanding. Because what this query will go, if you leave it the way you want to leave it, and the query that we are going to look at next, which I hope we cannot go to, query number 4 and the last query, somebody else might interpret them to be an issue of loss of funds on ghost workers or ghost assets, which I honestly don't want to believe is the truth, given the adjustments the reconciliation that have been given to the auditor. But if you leave it not updated the right way, somebody else holding this document will take these particular queries to EACC for no apparent reason and put the government into a very bad light because of accounting issues. And I suspect that is why the auditor gave an adverse opinion on this one. So perhaps this could be a good opportunity to have the county have the standard way of doing financial reports, and they work with the auditors, and then we take submissions and perhaps review this after another 30 days.
I've been consulting with the clerk here, and indeed, we need more time to review this report. And I know the governor is one of the reformist governors we have. I know the matter of water company, you have made good progress after we thoroughly went through the report. So you remember I had questioned the auditors previously that how come the year ended 20, governor is leaving briefly, so we can give him a few minutes and then we proceed. Welcome back, Governor. But there's quite a lot of work to be done, and we have expressed concern and qualified. But this particular year is now adverse. Much earlier. So for that case, the committees have more time to interrogate the audit report because there are issues there which are all the issues which need to be looked at.
Chair, on a point of order, just quickly.
Give your point of order. The issue of property, plant and equipment, we are noticing that the mess equipments are actually a mess. And that was signed much earlier. I don't know why the auditors could not pick that in the previous years. The issues of Doctors Plaza, we have issues to do with unsupported repairs and maintenance, and supported repairs to the equipments which are not functioning. So that clearly means there is a problem. We have, so what we are deciding is that we will review this particular report for the financial year ended June 2023, together with the report for the financial year ended 2024, jointly. The report for the financial year ended 2024 will be coming, when is that? Next year? Early next year.
Early next year.
So then we handle this particular one together with that one, so that we address the issues wholesome. But some of these issues, Governor, you will need to go and look at in the meantime. For example, the non-functioning of these machines, some of them very critical machines that are not functioning, and how they are repaired, because they are not functioning, but again there are repair costs which have been paid. So we will pen this report until we get the 2024, and then we will combine the two reports together. What is your issue?
I agree with you, Chair, because the matters that are here are weighty. First of all, I agree with you. But it's also good to just quickly, if we could be brought to light, Governor, the CEO who signed this contract on page 80 is one Dr. Oimeke Marita. Is he your current CEO? Is here? Who is he? CEO, you, through the Governor, you signed this contract on the 8th of August last year, which was past the financial period. Page 80, the pink red book.
Yes, through Chair, yes. If you go through the annexure, there are those which have been signed after the start of the financial year, and there are those which are during the financial year.
Senator Mutinda, thank you for highlighting that issue. But I have already directed that we will reopen this report together with 2024 so that we look at it thoroughly. And I know the Governor really appreciates our input in giving a thorough approach to it, so that we can give very comprehensive recommendation on what needs to be done. So I think we stop at that point. Your question is noted, but let us look at it then. Immediately we get 2024, we'll have another session which will combine 2023 and 2024. But meanwhile, Governor, you can look at these audits, those gaps before the next session we are going to have on the matter of hospitals.
Well noted, Chair. We are on the same page. Just a finality. In the previous query that I had raised in terms of the chair of the board, CEC should concentrate on the policy making. He is a chair. We've requested for the act, and you've not provided. So in the recommendations through the chair, I would request through you, Chair, that they look into that and respond also to the committee, so that it is correctly done. You cannot be there. Be focusing on being the overall management. You appoint a chair.
Chair, just on that, actually I've seen is the act which gives him those powers. The act is established of the board. There is established the Kisii County Health Facility Improvement Fund Board. 2, the board shall consist of the following members: the county executive committee member, who shall be the chairperson. Therefore, is the act itself which gave him those responsibilities, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, if it is in the act, I think...
That's okay, that's okay, but Governor, then that's where you'll continue having challenges, because now he overworks himself, you know, because he should be concentrating on matters policy and let the board be able to be in charge. If MCAs would have been here, I would have told them to look at amending that act.
Okay, so honorable members, I think we have reached the end of the review of these reports. Now it's closing comments from members and then eventually the governor. Eddie, do you have any closing remark?
Chair, I think that this has been a good session. There are just two comments that I wanted to say prior, that I think that it's a question of egg and chicken, so that perhaps as a committee we can guide well. I think that when a fund is created of this magnitude, it is very important that a CEC has got a full bird's eye view position on that fund. And I think that is perhaps why the County Assembly of Kisii saw it better to have that fund's chair be the CEC. And I think that is in the spirit of PFM section 184. So I don't know that I would recommend that they nudge that particular part of the the law. But I just had to add on what Senator Tabitha said. I think it is in order, but I also think that it's in order that financials are signed within 3 months after closure. But that's what the PFM Act requires, 149K. If you read it, it requires you to do financials in 3 months after closure. But the auditor today has advised that actually, because I think you're moving to accrual system. We are now moving to accrual system. So if you're moving to accrual system, at the end of financial year, you should actually just have the financial documents ready, because you operate on a day-to-day basis. So just at the end of the year, make sure that you don't want to keep your sprints to the latter. When the auditor shows up, then you're like, oh, where are my documents? You'll be prone to a lot of errors, because these are numbers that you have to interact with. So do them on an accrual basis as well. I think the next will just be about some of the issues that we have seen in the last report. I think that there are issues of a lot of conversation with the auditor. I would encourage that Governor, on that particular report, you take full control and make sure that the financial reporting there is done according to standard that you best feel is good. Because otherwise, the recommendations will come to almost saying that something should be sacked. And I don't like seeing people losing jobs when, lack of job opportunities in the country currently. And some of these, there are some of these reports. There are some of the reports that I wouldn't want to see on my desk, because do you have a problem with that agenda? Are you buying in Migori now? It could be 2050, whatever the age will be. But I'm just praying for God's grace that one day I will also be, because I look up to my leaders. My leader here is the party leader, deputy party leader of ODM on both sides. This is a potential governor, this is a sitting governor. So if I'm hanging around them too long, one day I might end up being a governor. I'm just saying. But there are reports that if they're there, anybody can pick them with any interpretation, even if you have cleared them in the Senate. And you don't want an adverse report as this sitting there. That's why I would say that this report needs to be gone and be considered with the auditor together with you. I think those will be my comments for now. Otherwise, thank you, Governor, for always being a partner of this committee, actually. I think that your positive attitude towards this committee makes it easier to make Kisii County work better for the people. And that's something that I really, really value. There are few governors who have exemplified that attitude of partnership instead of adversarial kind of relationship with this committee. And therefore, it helps us to give you proper feedback that can be able to help the officers work better. I thank you, Chair.
One minute.
It felt like Senator Ed is requesting for future ticket. Yeah? He has his two deputy party leaders. Kindly support the young. Anyway, all in all, Governor, asante sana. Some of the former members of parliament from Nairobi County, Nairobi is perceived to be very notorious. I've really set a bad precedents before most of the committees of Senate. We've so far set a positive record in that response. Actually, I was focusing on the governor of Isiolo. We are trying to focus and support you on the 401 billion. We are seeing a lot of wastage in these counties. Yesterday's newspaper, the day before, you saw cannot be having millions for Mandazi. Today we had the deliberations of county additional location, whereby the National Assembly, where you sat, are removing the RMLF fund, 10 billion. We've agreed as a committee to support the county government. So kindly talk to your counterparts that this is a synergy requirement. We don't come here to fight each other. We come to correct. Even when I said Elijah has that small issue, but he's very active. He's very active, which is good, which is fine. He can be able to adjust so that your people can be able to correct where issues are. All the best when you go back to Kisii. Unaletea sisi mandizi kidogo ya Kisii namna hiyo. Asante.
I think when Senator Eddie talked about governor, I thought he was talking about me. So I was just going to confirm that yes, I'm the next governor of Kisumu County. Governor, thank you very much for at least the presentation. I think your team should give documents to the auditors in good time. But as I see, that was for the at least now we look at 2022, 2023, and the following year. I think so that we don't go through some of these issues. But it's a learning experience when you come here. All oversight should build your team so that they know what to do. It should not necessarily, the fault is with a view to learning so that we do it better, as opposed to simply throwing matters to EACC to investigate and do such things. So I think that is what I want to say. We hope to see you in 2027 at the COG. Thank you.
Governor, your final comment?
Chair, thank you, and for the comments from senators. Two things. I'm happy that you have observed that the previous years there was unqualified opinions for the county of Kisii, but the same things they are now recurring. It's something of interest, but again, I want to commit to this committee that I'm working around the clock to make sure things are done as per the law is required. Chair, the KTRH you were talking about and we have suspended this business is where I went in and found that these people were collecting 47 million per quarter. As we are talking right now, this gentleman, when I removed the CEO was there. This new CEO is doing 200 million from 47. Therefore, again, even those assets, plants, everything which were there, I think, and I'm happy that there is new blood in the audit team. They will help us to make sure things are done. I'm going, because that's why you have seen some departments which are not even related to these matters. They are here today. To know that any time they'll come here, answer their own issues, as it were. Kila mtu anabeba mzigo yake. There is exactly all this team, water, they have come. And I'll make sure they appear so that at the end of the day, they carry their own cross around. Chair, in the same facility of KTRH, there are people away because of these things. At the time we are going to have the discussion, you'll realize there are so many people whom we could have not entertained, despite the fact they were getting all qualified opinion, unqualified opinion, but they had to go. It's only that the senator from Nairobi has left. I want to take possibly of what you've said. The new system of accruing system, is the best. We'll be reporting on daily basis, check what is happening, so that by the end of the day, when the auditors are coming, they have the clear report. My undertaking, Chair, is that we have a responsibility as a country and as leaders. That's true. It's up to us to, to come from our slumberland, help the country to move forward. There is no angel who will fall from heaven to fix the current situation. We must be angels of our own time. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I'm happy, Mheshimiwa Senator Ojenda, wishing you welcome, Mr. Senator Okech. Then we will meet 20.
Chair, cushion agenda. I might be a governor before you. Be careful. My gods work family.
And for your information, when you are seated there, know that one day you will sit here. Yes. You will be grilled by those ones who will be there. Then, because I've been there for 10 years. Now I'm here. The same thing happens. Therefore, I want to thank you again for the opportunity appearing before this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor, for appear before us. We don't take it for granted. But I want to say that it is important for the betterment of the lives of our people. What you do there in Kisii and what we are doing here in Senate, it all adds up to improving the lives of our people. I want to also echo the sentiments of my colleagues that those areas that we have identified gaps in the management of Facility Improvement Fund and also in Kisii County referral. Go sit down with your people and try to figure out the deal with those gaps. As I have expressed that it looks like in the earlier years of audit, the auditor did not consider a wider scope of the matters to look into. But the 2023, the auditor has been able to capture quite a number of issues, and of particular interest is the issue of functioning of hospital equipment. I believe these are the equipments which are supplied and maintained by MES. It is not just Kisii, but all counties, including my own county, machines are not functioning because of I think this is an issue that governors, you need to take charge within COG and have it addressed by the national government, because you cannot continue paying for repair costs for machines which are not functioning. You would rather have your own machines procured under your own budget and maintained by yourselves. So I think issues of budget management, we have also picked them. You will need to sit down with your people and ensure that we have proper budget control and performance, such that when you are not able to meet the budget expectation, then you need to come up with a supplementary budget so that we stop having queries in relation to budget control and performance. So otherwise, all in all, we want to appreciate that this is a learning process. There is a lot your team learns from senators. There is a lot senators also learn and share with you, because they interact with many reports for various counties. So we are able to know and interface with current challenges. Matters of asset register, management of asset, depreciation, I think it's another gray area that you need to look at, so that public property is not lost and is accounted for and is reflected in your books. Otherwise, thank you very much as you go back to Kisii and Senator Deputy Party Leader. You may miss that ticket. Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned, and Tuesday, 10 a.m.